do. They reduce something down to something bad. That's what we do by nature.
I guess that's true, but I think that for the most part, I think for right now with the reports that we have had, I don't believe that anyone has reported anything. In fact, we've had anything that's been malicious. In fact, I
glanced at like 10 stories and they seem all too real. Because they were minimizing it even after reporting it.
Some people, they didn't put anything. They didn't write anything.
Yeah.
Apparently, they just dropped a pin and thought, okay, that's it. I'm not going to say anything more about it. So I think, but we have our IT guys are great, and we have a back way to go into the app. And if there's something that looks suspicious or looks malicious, we can go in and check it out. And we have the ability to remove it.
Right. And the good thing, which should be accident, is that if somebody feels something was done wrong, there is an avenue by which they can discuss having it removed.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I really don't think that somebody who is guilty, I don't know, is going to call up. And
I don't know.
I don't think they'd want that light on them, that additional light. I don't think they want to, because it's real easy to check,
Yeah.
It's real easy to check typically.
Yeah.
I'm just interested in, that kind of data, and if you get any clustering or anything, or and it's interesting because it is like a Yelp of like extremely bad behavior, and we do make. I wonder long term how it will impact decision safety and otherwise, because we do make decisions on these things. I mean.
Yes, and we should.
But I mean, sometimes it gets scary to the degree to which we're influenced, and I'm not. This, you should be influenced. If people are using it honestly, it's doing the right thing. I'm thinking about in terms of when you go on and you look at a review and you see a bad review and there's two products and you're deciding and you just see one has a bad review, one has a good review. There could be 10,000 below that, but you jump right to the good review.
Well, you know what? But here's the thing. This is so prevalent and I hate to use the word epidemic, but I'm going to. There is no place. There will not be a university. There won't be a school. There will be no place, because there is no place in our society where this doesn't happen. So every place will have a pin. It's just the reality of the world that we live in. And, maybe some, and that's why we have it so that the pins are different colors, so that you can, it can be a rape, it can be trafficking, so that there can be a breakdown. But to clarify what's going on even more. But I do not believe, really, that there won't be a place that doesn't have a pin. Any place where humans gather, in any kind of numbers, there's a high likelihood of someone behaving badly.
I thought of what you were saying. I thought of an example where there wouldn't be pins, and it was so stupid I can't even let the words out of my mouth. I'm trying to think of an example where there just wouldn't be a pin. And I can't.
No, you can't. When you really think about it, it just the examples that I gave you. Middle school, elementary school. Not that this will reach elementary school kids, but colleges, high school, middle school, companies, huge corporations. It's hospitals. There's no place that this can't be used, and it truly is, because we want, all of us at the R.A.D.A.R project, we want our kids to live in a healthy, safe environment where they don't have to be exposed to these traumas. And so we're hoping that trying to make different places safer and accountable, that, maybe we're moving the needle just a little bit, and, we'll make the world a safer place.
See, I don't know if that's the gain from it, or if the gain is that people aren't as ashamed of it happening, because I think that's something that really I think that it needs to be not normalized, but it needs to be not looked down on, and people need to feel more comfortable coming out to people close to them without feeling that they're going to get blamed. And and it's tough, because I know when I was talking to a person, being a guy, you want to solve a problem,
right?
But you have to have that ability, and you to go just shut up for 5 minutes. Don't offer any advice. Just listen. And I think that's important. But I can see where people wouldn't broach the subject because they don't want the lecture. They don't want to hear ideas or plans or anything. They just want to say something.
Yeah.
And it kind of gives the anonymity is good, and it kind of gives an outlet for that. And I think it's a great idea. I think it's one of the only good uses I've seen of kind of crowdsourcing for social stuff. And, the things I said were kind of the outlying incidents, but I'm always thinking of how could somebody take something that's good and exploit it, and impact its credibility. But it sounds like you have it thought out.
Well, we tried as much as we could, and let's face it.
Nothing's 100%.
Right. Nothing is 100%. And Mary and I, and everyone behind the R.A.D.A.R project, Lana, who came up with the name, everyone behind the R.A.D.A.R project, we've gone through every scenario that we possibly can, and we feel really as if the risk kind of she's a writer. It's worth the risk, because it's too darn important to let this stay silent. And in the darkness is where all the secrets happen, and nothing good is going to happen.
How many people work at the R.A.D.A.R project?
We're a nonprofit. And so the people that we have that volunteer, there are probably 6 of us. And honestly, more, just before we met with you this afternoon, someone else is, actually 2 other people want to be involved. When people hear about this, because there's no one, there's hardly anyone. It's almost like, drug usage. If people tell you that it hasn't affected someone in their family, they're not telling you the truth, or they don't know. But it's that prevalent. I'm sure that if you dug in your family, it wouldn't take very long for you to bump into a family member who says, and they might minimize it, but yeah, you'd probably run into somebody.
Well, my family's built on a strong tradition of denial and avoidance.
Well, there you go.
So, I think that's what keeps a family strong.
The perfect breeding ground.
You hear, no, there's just some things you hear sounds coming from parents' rooms and stuff like that. And just don't la 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 la. I don't underrate denial. There's good denial.
That's true.
There's good denial. Nobody wants to walk in on their grandparents. So you have 6 or so people. How do you finance this?
I have an amazing husband who has helped me, and my colleague, my partner on this project, Mary Lopez. It's all been self-funded.
I need an amazing husband.
All self-funded. We scrounge for everything, all the handouts, all the literature. We pay for it because we believe we paid to have the map built. We have funded this because we believe so strongly that everybody deserves to have their voice heard.
I think that kind of nonprofit is a little better in some ways because it's pure, and I think that sometimes sometimes money taints and can mess things up, like it's something. I think sometimes the worst thing you could do is just, give somebody a bunch of money.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I
agree. But you know what? The thing is, I wish somebody would give me a bunch of money because
you could test the theory, because I want to test it too.
Because tomorrow I could easy have 40 to 50 kids, get them started into counseling.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you next. Magic wand or blank check. How would you put this out of business? How would you end the problem?
Oh, well, I end the problem.
I mean, that should be the goal.
It's, I think, to go back to what I said before, if you have healthy children, then you have healthy adults. And if these cycles aren't continued, and, a lot of times you hear people say, oh, it runs in the family. I just read a story about a family that has been victimizing children for 30 years.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that was delightful.
Yeah, it's. I don't look at the news for many reasons, and that's one of them. But when I look when I look at it, I always, when something goes wrong, maybe I have a gift or something, but I look and go, look at that guy. Couldn't anybody tell?
Yeah.
They should have me just screen everybody. It's like pass you over there.
Yeah.
Because it just seems like it's. I don't know if it's crazy eyes or something, but there's always, they get these people who go, why did you even let anybody near this person?
I know. No, and it's true. And it could be too, because of what you do. You have maybe a heightened sense. But so all those children, 30 years, how many kids was that?
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
You'll never know how many.
You'll never know.
You'll never know.
You won't know. And so my hope is that some of those kids who are now adults come forward, and I'm all about getting adults into therapy too. Get them, try and get them some counseling, so that they can work through it, and so that the cycle isn't, especially with domestic abuse, so that is not perpetuated.
But you just wonder how a whole family can get away with that, and how did the community fail at all?
So what if people dropped pins? What if people were able to drop pins and the police were able to say, something...
Yeah, something's going on at Porcupine Manor over there,
Something doesn't seem right.
Yeah, something doesn't seem right. I'm no mathematician or anything, but...
Right, and police, I know police, and the police that I know probably would get out of the car and go check around and talk,
or ask somebody.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Have a and all this is about having conversations, connecting people to one another, so that they have conversations, and it's not hidden in shadows and shame, and just shedding light on this.
Is this problem getting worse, or is it?
Well, it depends.
Is it being better recorded? And
I think
better reported. I always wonder if things.
I don't know. And it goes. I read different reports that say that it is getting better. Then I'll read a report that says that it's the same. It's like anything. It's like there seems to be not a definitive answer. I think that with the advent of the internet, and the easy accessibility of porn, and unfortunately child porn, which is one of the things that made me want to be involved in this, was because I was reading online one day that you could go on to Facebook, and if you dug around deeply enough, you could find children being victimized, and my head almost exploded. And I thought, I can't sit here and not do anything. I have to get involved in this. And that was a really big epiphany that I had, and that's what led me into wanting to be a victim's advocate.
But doesn't it get censored out or something? I mean, from that kind of stuff being put on Facebook?
Apparently it didn't. and